Every coffee needs a lotus.
The views and opinions expressed by the speaker, host, commentator, or other third party in Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass are those of the speaker, host, commentator, or third party and do not necessarily reflect and represent the views and opinions of Ariva. Furthermore, Ariva does not warrant, express, or imply the merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose of any product information, service, or process presented by the speaker, host, commentator, or third party, and Ariva specifically disclaims any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any product information, service, or process presented. Finally, material or information presentation, opinion, process, or service by, on any trade name, trademark, manufacturer, or otherwise during Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass do not constitute or imply Ariva's endorsement or recommendation of such opinion, process, service, item, or organization.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ariva Academy's free live webinar with our topic this afternoon, excellent Japanese HR practices that can be applied in any workplace environment. I'm Kate, and I will be with you the whole afternoon as your host. Now, before we get to know our speaker, I have a few reminders to make sure that our program will run smoothly the whole afternoon. Ariva is committed to protecting your privacy, hence stricter security of this webinar has been implemented. For better viewing of your Zoom experience, we encourage you to please update your Zoom application by visiting their website. And for those of you who are using their mobile gadgets to view this webinar, you can go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store so you can download and install the Zoom. Now, I want to know, is there anyone here who is joining an Ariva Academy webinar for the first time? If it's your first time, can you type hi here in the chat box? Also, I've been reading that a lot of you are from outside Metro Manila. I'm here in Parañaque City. We're having a very beautiful sunny afternoon. How about the rest? Would love to know, where are our participants watching us from? I've seen a while ago Bukidnon. Someone is from Doha, Qatar, from Cagayan de Oro, from Davao, from Cebu, and it's raining in Cebu right now, from Bulacan, from Pampanga, Cavite, from Palawan, from Iligan City in Mindanao, from Valenzuela, from Manila, Laguna, from Cebu. Hi, thank you. Hi, Abby. I'm back now. From Pampanga, from Laguna, from Cavite, masungit ang panahon sa Quezon City. Oo. From Pasig City, from Laguna, from Quezon Province. It's raining in Marikina right now. Bacolod City, and it's sunny there. From Antipolo. Hi, Gloria. Welcome to Ariva Academy. She is in Marikina. From Laguna, from Batangas. From Intramuros in Manila, from Batangas, from Makati, hello. From Bukidnon, Valencia City, hello. Good afternoon, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and also to our participants who are watching us from abroad. We are very happy to have you here with us. And to those who have attended in the past, sa aming mga suki, welcome back and thank you for always being with us. Now you know the drill. Let us again do another audio check. I want to make sure that once our speaker is on screen, you will be able to hear the discussion loud and clear. So type 111 in the chat box if you can hear me clearly. Type 222 if you can't hear anything. 2121 if you can hear me, but the sound is breaking up, or question mark if you don't understand what is happening. And let me check. I am seeing a lot of 111s. That's good to know. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your feedback. Later, we'll have a break time, 5-minute break. And again, something exciting will be happening during that break time. So watch out for that. Participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by our administrator during the discussion to avoid interruptions. But for those of you who might have questions, you can click the raise hand button during our Q&A portion. We'll acknowledge you so that you can unmute and turn on your cameras so that you can ask your question directly to our speaker. Or type your questions here in the chat box and then we will be reading them later. E-certificates of attendance will be awarded to participants who will successfully complete the entire virtual masterclass, and they will be available 3 to 5 working days after the learning session. As proof of your attendance, please make sure your cameras are turned on all throughout our session this afternoon. Thank you for that. Please help us build and improve our service with your comments and feedback. Let us know your favorite part and let us also know where you think we can improve ourselves. We will greatly appreciate your feedback. We'll also post a link of this feedback form here in the chat box later. Thank you. And there you go. Now it's time for me to get to know our speaker. So let us get to know him. Let me introduce him. Today's speaker is a diplomate in people management. It is the highest rank bestowed to HR practitioners in the country by People and Management Association of the Philippines. He was PMAP president in 2002 and PMAP's People Manager of the Year in 2006. He was a past president for 2 terms of the Asia Pacific Federation of Human Resource Management, the only Filipino to hold such a position. He was also a past president of the World Federation of People and Management Associations, also the only Filipino and second Asian to hold such a position. He has also co-authored 2 business books, Organization and Management, and The Moving Train, Integrating Strategy, Organization, and People. He started his HR career as an executive search consultant, progressively moving to key HR management and senior HR executive positions. He also served as HR consultant of the Philippine Veterans Bank and executive coach for Global Business Power. Everyone, let us hear from our speaker, Sir Ernie Espinosa. Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Kate. Thank you very much for that introduction.
We're happy to be with you again, Sir Ernie. It has been a long time.
Yes, I am what you may call a Suki of Ariva back in the day.
Yes.
I must have done about 10 to 15 webinars in the past, but basically face-to-face at Crown Plaza, Mall of Asia, and even Axid near AIM.
Yes.
So those
We've
were
been
the
together
days.
a lot.
But thank God, after I had my stroke, this is the first time that I'm doing a webinar for Ariva, thanks to JM, to Irish, to Ann Robinson, and of course to you and your technicians.
We're
Thank
very
you.
happy to have you here again with us.
Thank you for making this possible. So let's start the ball rolling. No?
Yes, please.
I suppose that since my topic is about excellent Japanese practices that can be applied in any workplace, it is essential that I talk about my source, no? And many of you already know that I work with Fujitsu in Canlubang in a manufacturing plant, manufacturing hard disk drives for export. And I was there for 14.5 years. Initially 7.5 years as director of HR and general affairs, and then moving to become vice president for 7 years. So total 14.5 years. No? So this will probably be the first and last time I will talk about Fujitsu. So when I refer to certain business practices, I am referring to Fujitsu good practices. Now, you know, when I joined Fujitsu, I had the shock of my life. While they have certain unwritten rules, like you cannot leave the office every time your boss is around, or if you are now in the day shift, after a month you can be transferred to the night shift and vice versa. So this shocked me, you know, but I was able to embrace all of these practices after adjusting for so many years. Now, by the way, no, I have to look at my notes once in a while for sequencing. Now, let's make this webinar meaningful. Let's make this integrative. In other words, I would encourage everyone to participate later on by asking questions during the open forum. I'd like to emphasize too that whenever I conduct training, I have two people in mind who I idolize. And these are Jesus Christ, because he has the penchant for talking in parables, which makes him effective. And people listen to him. My other idol is Confucius, who is the first trainer in China. What did he say once? I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. In other words, if you just hear me, you will easily forget what I am saying. And if you just see my slides, chances are in a couple of minutes, you will forget everything that you saw in my presentation. On the other hand, if I do, in other words, since this is a virtual presentation, the fact that I will be able to come up with stories or lessons learned or my actual experiences will show that we are giving credence to what Confucius said. So let's make this webinar more meaningful by, my approach will be more of conversational. And I will be telling a lot of true to life stories, which I hope will not bore you. Now, the Japanese discipline is legendary. It is known throughout the world. In other words, when you talk of various countries that promote discipline in the workplace, you can be sure that Japan will be rated #1. No doubt. And the Japanese are also known as economic animals. Many say that it's better to work smart than to work hard, but among the Japanese, they work hard. No? There were several times in the past when I've seen my contemporaries, the Japanese executives, work until 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Because, in Japan, if you have spouses, the women or the housewives are trained not to ask questions from their husbands. Because A Japanese husband who is working hard, if he goes home early, the thinking is that he's not doing very well and has nothing to do. But on the other hand, if he comes late, which is acceptable among the wives, then they're doing well. Certainly something that probably the Filipino wives do not even experience. Now, apart from all this, there are so many examples that I can cite, like the Japanese are known to bow. So instead of a handshake or a firm handshake, whenever they meet people, they bow. And there is a Japanese proverb that says, a mature rice stalk bends itself low. So the more the Japanese bends low, the more it shows that these Japanese people remain humble. Number two, the Japanese are people who pride themselves, when it comes to honoring their word. And when they don't honor their word and they are castigated by other people, some of these Japanese, or most of them, commit what you call harakiri because of shame. Okay. And whenever you see Japanese executives, even the Japanese lower level employees, you will always hear the statement, arigato gozaimasu. Because they are appreciative all the time. And they are known to be punctual. Unlike the Americans who show up 30 minutes before the scheduled time, the Japanese come just at the right time. That's why they say just in time, or JIT. Even as you experience riding in the bullet trains in Japan, when the schedule says that the train will arrive at 8 a.m., it doesn't arrive at 7:59. It doesn't arrive at 8:01. It arrives at exactly 8 in the morning. Okay? Now, let's next slide, please. There are three bullet points here, no? But before that, let me talk about what I said here are terms in Japanese, hone and tatemae. What does that mean? Hone is what the individual thinks. But tatemae is the official position of the team or the group. So even if Japanese has an individual position, once the group or the team decides, you can be sure that the individual will also decide in favor of the group or the team. So selfishness is avoided. And they always take pride in what you may call esprit de corps or team spirit. Now going to the 3 bullets here, no? Sense of order. You see below 5 bullet points referring to what they call 5S. The 5 Japanese terms, seiri, seiton, seison, seketsu, and shitsuke, all mean respectively sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. But do you know that while 5S is known throughout the world to mean good housekeeping, it was never the intention of the Japanese to come up with 5S just for the sake of good housekeeping. Because the main intention of 5S is to pinpoint abnormalities. When you don't resort to the 5S, okay, as I mentioned earlier, it would be difficult for you to pinpoint abnormalities. And the sense of order of the Japanese is also legendary. Can you just imagine? No? We used to have a practice that we place a line in the middle of all corridors. For instance, at any one time, there are about 1,000 employees going to the canteen because we had a large canteen that can accommodate 1,000 employees at any one time. And that canteen contained 5 concessionaires, 2 ATM machines, 1 drugstore, 1 small gym, and many others. So that we were able to establish what we call keep right policy. Because before the putting that line in between the corridors, students will bump into it. Employees will bump into each other as they go to the canteen and the others leave the canteen. So to avoid that, we came up with a keep right policy. If you are going to the direction of the canteen, you have to keep right. If you are going back to your offices, you also have to keep right. And mind you, the first time that we implemented it, there were so many violators. But I took the pains, just like a police officer, to catch employees overtaking and not following the line. And they had a pink slip, which meant that they were warned. And if they do it again, they are subjected to disciplinary action, starting with an oral reprimand and then written warning. But thankfully, after about 2 or 3 tries, all the employees cooperated and followed the keep right policy. Now, ID strings. Do you know that our ID strings at the time were color coded? I do recall that my ID string was color orange, which meant that I belonged to the administration division. And the others had also their specific colors. So it was very easy to determine where an employee comes from because of the ID strings. Prove that even when it comes to something as simple as ID strings, the Japanese demonstrate their sense of order. Some of you have bulletin boards, but our company invested in 13 electronic boards. And whatever is put in the electronic boards all come from HR. Announcements, promotions, events, etc. So we control what is inputted into all electric boards, which are placed in strategic areas of the company. Okay, we were occupying a large area where we had 3 plants. Okay, in about 8 hectares. So one was placed near HR, 2 were placed inside the canteen, 2 were placed near the production areas, and so on and so forth. So that if there were announcements, you can be sure that all employees are able to see them. Because it was essential then that before we implemented a certain policy, all employees have to be informed. There was even a time when we had a separation program, and we conducted town hall meetings, even at midnights, just to be able to explain to all the employees what we intend to do and what they can do. Now let's go to the canteen. HR also administered the canteen. So that you can see that even in the disposition of plates, spoon, forks, etc., employees line up to dispose of these utensils. And they sort whatever they've used up when they were eating. I did tell some people about how we handled shuttle buses because we had about 15 shuttle bus pickup points at the time. From Magallanes all the way to Mayapa to Santa Rosa, where at a certain time, employees were picked up, brought to the plant, and when they go home, they will be brought back to those pickup points for free. They didn't have to pay anything. And when we first implemented this, I must admit that it was a disaster. Tulakan, balyahan, meron pang pumapasok dun sa bintana, nakikipag-unahan. Totally undisciplined. So, as HR director, before I was promoted to vice president, what did I do? I made sure that I inspected the shuttle bus system every day. So I went to the various pickup points and then called out those employees who were violating the proper queuing or the required queuing. By the first week, I went to the pickup points daily. By the second week, I went to the pickup points every other day. And on the third week, I went to the pickup point only once, or to the pickup points only once. So we were able to institute discipline where you can see that all employees comply when it comes to proper queuing. Which leads me to my talk later, a preview, where I said that one of the best Japanese practices is to go to the scene, to see what's happening with your very own eyes, and not rely on what your subordinates tell you. Because even though you are the local executive, you have to know, you have to see for yourself and never imagine things. So that when the president asks you what's happening, you can explain what's happening really. Because you saw what's happening with your very own eyes. There is a term for that. Kenchi, Genbutsu, Genjitsu. Now, Bandi clock. What is the sickness of Pinoys or Filipino employees when it comes to bandy clock. 2. Before the strike of 5 p.m., 5 or 10 minutes before 5 p.m., some employees already go to the comfort room to powder themselves, to beautify themselves, etc. But we put a stop to that. We made sure that all bandy clocks will only be operational 1 minute before 5 p.m. So that those who go there at 4:50 will be unable to punch in or punch out because the machines are not capable. Now, maybe some of you are so picky. Ano ba naman yan? Espinosa? Lahat pinapakialaman nyo na. But this is the way among the Japanese. That's why I keep on saying that the work ethics of the Japanese are different from other nationalities. I tell you, they are very strict, they are very firm, but they are always fair. And even when it comes to punctuality, we never had a 5 or 10 minute grace period. Okay? I don't believe in a grace period because to me, late is late by any language. And it will even encourage other employees to negotiate for a longer grace period if you agree to their demand of having a grace period. So what gives? So we totally eliminated grace period. If we started at 7:45, there is a pipe in music at exactly 7:45 where all employees do calisthenics to start the day. Because to the Japanese, a healthy body means a healthy mind. So before you do your morning meetings, everyone, including the president, starts with the exercise. And when we talk of Japanese work ethics, we also talk about, other than 5S, Kaizen, which you hear most of the time from my friend Ray Elbosan, which means continuous improvement. Because the Japanese are never satisfied with what they do originally, and they keep on improving and improving and improving. Also, they are very compliant. I recall that we were then vying for certification of SA 8000, which is social accountability. And there were even Japanese executives from Fujitsu Nagano and Fujitsu Kawasaki who came to visit us so that we can talk about how to comply with all the necessary requirements of SA 8000. Now, there are other practices. Some are even weird. Do you know that it is a crime? Not really a crime, but it's a no-no for Japanese people to kill insects. So when you see a butterfly or you see a cockroach, you preserve the lives of these insects. In other words, you let them go. Because they are respectful even of animals and plants. And ironic, it's the other way around on Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, the ones giving gifts are the women. They give chocolates to men. And they greet them, Happy Valentine's Day. It's the other way around. And you must have heard also plan, do, check, and act, which came from Deming. Okay? The Japanese are known for the PDCA approach. You plan first, and then you do, and then you check, and then you act. Act meaning if there are countermeasures, you come up with countermeasures. And by the way, I almost forgot. When we talk about compliance, I'm sure that some of you do not know that there is a certain provision in the labor code that a company has to conduct an exit medical examination. We do that. Meaning, even before employees resign, they are already subjected to exit medical examination for good reasons. If for one reason or another, a particular individual or organization sues the company and says that this employee acquired this particular disease because of our organization, we can prove otherwise that that is not the case because we have as evidence the results of the exit medical examination before letting go the employee. I suppose that makes sense. Okay. And I forgot to tell you that many organizations suffer from fallouts or employees backing out after they are given the job offer, they would have a change of heart. I've seen this in chat groups where even some employees are asking, what if I sign the employment contract already? Can I still back out? But in order to avoid that, I came up with what I call job offer orientation. Mind you, it's different from the real honest to goodness orientation. Here's the meaning. Vincent Jerry Plana calls it job preview. When we give you the job offer, and before you sign it, we meet with you. We meet with these prospective employees. We tell them exactly what's happening in the company. We do not paint a rosy picture about the company, but we tell it like it is. Like, for example, the one I said a while ago. You cannot leave if your boss is still around. Now, how many employees can take that? So right there and there, if I tell you all of these things that are actually happening in our company, some will already back out even before we give the job offer. But mind you, the moment a prospective employee signs the employee contract, you can be sure that he or she will join the company. Thereby, we will avoid fallouts or backouts. And that is what I call job offer orientation, or what Vincent Jerry Plana is saying, job preview. Next slide, please. Now, job excellence is also known among the Japanese. And they shy away from what you call in Filipino, pwede na yan. That's about right. No, sir. No, ma'am. Okay? They do not tolerate pwede na. In fact, when you read the Book of Five Rings, authored by a certain Miyamoto Musashi, let me read to you some of his quotes. I will read them, so pardon me, because it's not in my slide. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is from within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself. That's a great quote by Musashi. Another one. You can win with your hands, and you can defeat people by seeing with your eyes. Third, completing tasks on the path does not move it forward. You need to improve to move forward. Okay, and last, full attention is required for good performance and the progression of work. The path should be alluring enough that it is impossible to have slack attention. I highly recommend that you buy this book of 5 rings, because if you want to preview some of the excellent Japanese practices, you can read in this particular book. Now, let's talk about Toyota, because these are the success stories of great Japanese companies. What is Toyota known for? Back in the day, in the 1950s, there were only 3 car manufacturers: Chrysler, Ford, General Motors. And they were known as the Big Three. It was then very difficult to compete with the Big Three head on. Because if you don't have large resources, you will easily be eaten up in the market. But before the Toyota, there was a company that introduced a car by the name of Rambler. Rambler was the first box-type car. But soon enough, Toyota followed. And Toyota is now known to be one of the most, if not the most, durable cars in the automotive market. And long-lasting. What about Sony? Sony is known for home videos, games, and you must have heard PlayStation, and VCR, VHS, and even Walkman. And what about Matsushita? What's the other name of Matsushita? Panasonic. Okay. Matsushita was known in Japan as the god of management, because he was the one who introduced all of these electronic appliances which are durable. Next slide, please. Okay. Wait, let me see the sequencing of my presentation so that I don't make a mistake. No? Okay. What is giri and on? Giri is the obligation to return the favor or a favor. And on is returning the favor itself. Meaning, if a Japanese does something good for you, unconsciously, you are obligated to return the favor. Okay? At some point in time, you have to find a way to return the favor, and that is what they call kiri and on. What about chawa? Chawa is harmony. This act is the act of always following protocols. Okay? Because the Japanese are not fond of, things that will not be compliant. Okay? So, they always make sure that they always harmonize with people. Dalawa yan eh. It is better to be kind than to be right. It is better to be happy than to be right. That's why among the Japanese, chawa is very important. Now, kenkyo. What is the meaning of kenkyo? Kenkyo is humility. One apology is better than 10 excuses. I have 2 stories to tell here. One time, I was HR director then. We did some car racing with my assistant director on who gets first when we saw each other using our cars in South Superhighway all the way to Canlubang, Calamba, Laguna. So we raced. To cut the long story short, I won in that race because I came ahead in front of the doorsteps of my company than my assistant director. Funny, but at the time, right after racing the assistant director, I proceeded immediately to our executives morning meeting. And I bumped into the Japanese senior vice president for manufacturing, and I told him a story. That story. You know, he castigated me. To say the least, he told me, you know, you should not do that. Because the higher you go up the organization ladder, the more you should remain humble. as I often say, I was embarrassed. And just like an ostrich, I wanted to bury my head in the ground, not in fear, but in shame. The second story is a week prior, another manufacturing plant in Laguna was almost gutted by fire. Or I think they were gutted because that was a long time ago. Sanyo. And at that time, there was a similar incident in our plant where a particular electronic gadget was not fully maintained for 3 consecutive years. So that electronic gadget sparked and fire started. And thankfully, our fire brigade was able to put out the fire in time. So immediately the president called a meeting among supervisors and all the executives, Japanese and Filipinos of the organization. And he was fuming mad. He was banging the table. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? I remember that when he asked that question, his name is Masaaki Nagamine, who was then the president of my organization. A technician, I still remember his name, Ronald Martin, stood up and said, Nagamine-san, I'm sorry. It's my fault. It will never happen again. I'm sorry. It's my fault. It will never happen again. That was what he said. 3 statements, very brief. You know what the president did? He set aside what the technician said and proceeded to another topic. In short, he moved on, na parang walang nangyari. Which goes to show that among the Japanese, one apology is better than 10 excuses. Yan ang sinasabi ko sa mga tao eh. Pagkasalanan mo, magpakumbaba ka na lang. Hindi yung hihirit ka pa na pagtatanggol mo pa yung sarili mo and you will come up with all sorts of justification and excuses. No, sir. No, ma'am. You don't do that. Because humility, tenkyo, is very important. Okay. Are we going to have a 5-minute break, my dear technicians?
Yes, Sir Ernie. It's time for our break. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Kate. So let's have a 5-minute break, ladies and gentlemen, and we will proceed after that.
Yes, we'll go back to your discussion
And then
after our
I
break.
will wind up at about 3:20, 3:25 for open forum or Q&A.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Ernie. We'll see you after 5 minutes.
Okay, see you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm back. So now we're going on our break time. And I mentioned a while ago that something exciting is about to happen during our break time because we are going to play a game this afternoon. And the game is called Guess the Movie. If you've attended in the past, you're very familiar with this. But for those of you who are new to Ariva Academy's webinars, I'll give you the house rules. So this is what the game does. We will be showing you short clips or short trailers of a movie, and this is what you have to do. You have to guess the title of that movie. Be the first one to type the complete and correct title here in the chat box. If you do that, you will receive 200 pesos. We will send it straight to your GCash account. There you go. That's 200 pesos sent to your GCash account, and we will have two winners this afternoon. I hope you guys are ready. I'm seeing answers already here in the chat box. Wala pa naman tayong nakikita. Let's see. Mukhang alam na ng ating mga participants. But for those who are new, let's do a trial run. Okay? Let's watch this. Trial pa lang to, no prize yet, but start guessing the title.
We're going in. What the hell are you doing to us? Keep firing!
There you go. I'm seeing Battleship, Battlefield, John Wick, Extraction, Battlefield, Battleships, 2012, Pearl Harbor, Pacific Rim, Transformers, The Battleship. Naku, iba-iba ang sagot. Bumblebee. What is the correct title of that movie? It is Battleship. I've seen Battleships, Battleship, The Battleship. The correct title is Battleship. None other than that. So take note, again, it has to be the complete and correct title. Kung nagkaroon ng typo error, we will not accept that. Okay, so I hope everyone is ready. This clip will give you 200 pesos. Let's watch it. Okay, I think we have lost audio. To my tech team. Okay, we will be doing it again. Sorry, because we've lost the audio for that one. We'll do another clip. We'll disregard that one. Sorry. Para lang complete experience, there has to be the audio. Okay, let's do it again. Let's watch this next clip.
FBI. Any kind of booze you might want?
No, the Bureau forbids us from drinking.
Duh.
This is their gift, okay? They're built to be thrown like a lawn dart.
There you go. Okay, the answers I'm getting are Code 8, FBI, The Great Gatsby, The Wolf of Wall Street, Titanic, Wolf of Wall Street, Murder Mystery, Code 8. Let us see. What are the other answers? They're all basically Wolf of Wall Street or The Wolf of Wall Street. Wolves of Eol Street, is that it? Let's see. Do we have a winner? What is the title of that movie? And it is The Wolf of Wall Street. So the first one na nakatama ng pag-type, we have Sheila Marzon. Congratulations, Sheila. Sheila, you will receive 200 pesos. Please send your GCash account number to Ariva Academy Philippines. Send it to us privately, okay? We want to protect your data. So send your GCash account number to us privately. Ariva Academy Philippines here in the chat box. Congratulations, Sheila. Now, because nanalo ka na, Sheila, you won't be able to join the game anymore. Para your other co-participants will have a chance in getting the last 200 pesos. Congratulations again. And to the rest, one more 200 pesos is at stake. It might be yours. Let's watch this next clip. There, the answers are Wonder Woman, Winder Woman, Wonder Woman, one word, Wonder Woman, two words. Ang daming iba-iba. May variations lang ng one word or two words, but mostly everyone answered Wonder Woman talaga. Let us see. Do we have a winner? What's the title of that movie? It is Wonder Woman, and it is two words. The first one na nakapag-type ng tama, we have Cecil. Marjorie Ugay, congratulations, Miss Cecil. Miss Cecil, send your GCash account number to Ariva Academy Philippines here in the chat box. Okay, send it to us privately and expect your prize in a little while. Congratulations to Sheila and to Cecil. We'll be sending your prize to you in a little while. Now I'll move on with my other announcements. Stay on top of our insights and updates. Stay connected with Ariva Academy. You can join Ariva Academy's Facebook group. You can also like Ariva Academy's Facebook page. You can follow us in LinkedIn, and also you can check out our website, ariva.com.ph. I am inviting everyone to join us and be a part of the growing Ariva Academy Viber community. You can scan this QR code that will bring you instantly inside our Viber community. And for those of you who might have missed the free live webinars, we really have a lot of them. It started last 2020 up to now. So for those of you who has not watched those free live webinars in the past, this is your chance to all see them. You can subscribe to these channels, Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. Here are some of our upcoming learning events. Managing and leading remote and hybrid workforce, maximizing efficiency and performance in today's dynamic business. This will be our topic on June 9. On the same day, we have innovative talent acquisition strategies to retain top talent. June 14, professional telephone etiquette at workplaces matter. On June 15, effective purchasing strategies and negotiation tactics. June 16, we have our accounting 101 and bookkeeping basics. How to design and develop a competitive salary structure. This will be on June 21. On June 23, strengthening paralegal skills, business contract law for non-legal professionals. On June 28, we have our 10th effective administration of salary and payroll law. Another free live webinar will happen on July 4, change management in an agile environment, strategies to help your organization handle change management. July 5 is another free live webinar with a very interesting topic, mastering the art of public speaking, how to communicate with confidence and clarity. July 7, Decoding Tax Assessment, How to Handle BIR Tax Assessments. And for those of you who are interested in inviting our speakers to conduct an in-house program, you can email us or you can call us and then let us know what topic you have in mind. Here are some of the programs that we offer, but we have a lot more than that. So email us, call us, and we'll help you partner with the right speaker under Ariva Academy Speakers Bureau for that. So there you have it. Now I'm going to give the floor back to our speaker, Sir Ernie. Hi, Sir Ernie. We're ready to listen to you again. Sir Ernie. Okay, I think we might have to wait for a bit more. So we'll give you a few more minutes to enjoy this break time. Probably grab something to drink, and then we'll be back in a little while. Oh, okay. One moment. He is back. Hi, Sir Ernie.
Hello. Okay, I'm back.
Yes, we're ready.
Can we go already to the slide?
Yes, here it's back now.
Next slide, please. Next slide. Yan, okay. I think this is my last slide. I did talk about Genchi, Genbutsu, Genjitsu. No? In other words, Genchi means you go to the scene. You see what's happening with your very own eyes. Genbutsu means never imagine things. Okay? And Genbutsu means you have to use primary data, not secondary data in your decision-making process. Okay, because there are two things can happen. If you rely on a subordinate, let's say the president asks you, what's happening in the ground? So you will parrot what the subordinate told you. And by parroting the subordinate that told you or who told you, it's either he will give you or he gave you erroneous information or correct information. And you are lucky if the subordinate gives you correct information. But let's face it, not all subordinates will give you correct information. So if that's the case, better see for yourself what's really happening. So that is the meaning of Genchi, Genbutsu, Genjitsu. Nemowashi is Japan's decision-making process. 2 years before uprooting a tree, the Japanese will dig into the roots of the tree, take away the smaller roots so that only the large roots will be preserved. In other words, the decision-making process takes a lot of time. So how do we translate this into practice? Whenever I will introduce a particular policy to employees, and I will seek management approval so that I can implement the policy, what do? I talk to the members of the executive committee individually first. And I convince each and every one of them to my way of thinking. So that when we meet collectively, I was able to convince already all the individual members of the executive team to buy my proposal. And therefore, I will no longer have difficulty making sure that my proposal is approved. And that is what the Japanese call nemawashi. Lastly, horenso. What is horenso? Horenso is a way to keep informed. So, if let's say you are assigned a particular project, it is essential that you inform your boss. Not only should you inform your boss, but you should also provide regular progress as to the actual status of the project, so that every which way, whenever your boss is asked, even by the president, what's happening, he can already convey what you have told your boss. And that is what is called horenso. And finally, I'd like to end with what the Japanese call ikagai. I-K-A-G-A-I. In other words, reason for being. It is very important, it is critical for any organization to survive, to thrive, and to become successful by conveying to all employees what their ikigai is, and even supplemented by the right values, the values you would expect from employees. For instance, modesty aside, I was the one who prepared the value statement of my previous organization. When you take a look at the acronym, F stands for fairness. Okay. U stands for understanding oneself and others. J means just in time. I means integrity. T means thoroughness or attention to detail. S means sincerity. And finally, U means unity. Take them all together, the acronym is Fujitsu. And we live by these values in all the things that we do. And we never pay lip service to all these values, but we implement them all the time. So it's almost 3:20. I will be open to all your questions, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for being a good audience. I understand that there are about, last counting, 250 plus who attended. Tama ba, Kate?
We are more than 400,
400. Wow.
not counting those who are watching us via our live streams.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you very much, Kate, and to all your technicians. Well done, perfect, excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much also, Sir Ernie. So now we are opening the floor for questions for our participants. If you have questions, type them here in the chat box or click the raise hand button so you can really ask your question directly to our speaker, especially if it's a case that you want to ask him about. Pwede pong magtanong. Libre pong magtanong. I have a few questions here already, Sir Ernie. So let me read them.
Just call me Ernie, wala na siya.
Okay.
Hindi mo ako boss. We are co-equals.
Okay, here goes. Do Japanese people prefer to work with their team or on their own?
They prefer to work with their teams rather than on their own. I think I have it in my presentation where I said that they are known to work based on their groups. And I started with Hone and Tatemae, the individual voice versus the group voice. And what they consider is more the group voice rather than individual voice. By the way, let me emphasize this. The Filipinos and the Japanese both have good HR practices. I'm not saying that the Japanese are better than Filipinos. What I'm simply saying is that whether it's Japanese, Filipino, English, American, or whatever, as long as they are good practices, let's adopt them regardless of nationality. It's not being dominated by the Japanese, but since this was the topic assigned to me, I had no other recourse but to talk about it. I hope you understand.
Okay, thank you so much. Here's another question. Does it mean that when we follow the Japanese way, will it lead us to overworking ourselves just to have the Japanese level kind of practice?
That's a good question. You know, at the start, since I was finding my way into the Japanese culture and work ethics, I complied with their wishes. In other words, on my first year, every time the president was in the office, I never left. It was only after he left that I also left. But I changed that. Sa makatuwid, sa Tagalog, hindi ko pinamihasa at kinausap ko, look, unlike you, whose families are not here, we have our own respective families. So you have to understand that we have to go home earlier than you. Okay? Because we have to have dinner with our family. We have to teach our children their homework, etc., etc. And on the second year, they understood. That's why yung practices na yun, it really depends on HR. You should be spineful to tell your executives what are really the Filipino practices, which they also have to comply with. So there should be meeting of minds.
There you go. This is a question that is somehow connected. This is from John Stephen. Is there work-life balance set up in a Japanese setting?
Oh yes, I just answered that. You know, while it could be impressed upon people that there is no work-life balance, there is. Because you know the Japanese are good entertainers. They love food. They bring you to restaurants, especially if a particular restaurant is new and they have good food. And they will, because of their networking, it's very easy for them to pinpoint these restaurants. And mind you, after trying them out, they will invite you. And one thing, there is one particular habit among Japanese. If you are worried in telling your boss what's the real problem in your organization, make it a point that when your boss invites you and you drink, no? That is the time when you will tell your boss what is really happening respectfully, no? Without antagonizing the boss. Because there is a saying among the Japanese that if you tell your boss what's really happening, he will blame the devil because of the liquor that you are drinking, not you. So remember that. Be straightforward, be honest, give honest feedback. Okay.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question. This one is interesting. It's from Ernesto. Is there a Japanese counterpart on the Filipino value of malasakit?
Yes, yung malasakit is not nationality related eh. Because malasakit can happen anywhere. For as long as you are a human, for as long as you are a person, you will always have malasakit in you. And you know, mind you, there was a time when we approved 200,000 pesos every time any employee contracts a dreaded disease. So when you contract a dreaded disease, automatically the company will give you 200,000. That's a form of malasakit. Number two, one time our payroll system conked out. There were so many complaints. Okay, that operators were not given their overtime. So what was the president's instruction? Gather all the complaints, whatever is the amount that operators said that were not given to them as overtime. We pay for all of them. No questions asked. No requirement to submit evidence or whatever. We just take their word for it. That is malasakit for you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Another question. How do Japanese boost the morale of their employees?
Oh, several ways, no? Like one intervention I remember is we came up with what we call Employee Achievements Gallery. In one space inside the canteen, we gathered all the awards, photos, paraphernalia, medals, etc. of employees who achieved so much in any event and place them all in that particular employee achievements gallery. Okay? So, many said that, we want to invite our families to take a look at this employee achievements gallery. And of course, all the events are always ways to enhance employee experience. Di ba? Kahit sa choice of Christmas parties, guess it. It's not HR who choose the artists that we will guess. It is the employees. We conduct a survey. Pag kung sinabi nila, imbitahan natin si Aya de las Alas, so be it, si Aya imbitahin. But never, and I warned my staff, you are not the employees, you are HR. So ang sundin nyo yung mga sinasabi ng empleyado, hindi yung kagustuhan nyo. Tsaka, alam mo ako, kahit na ako yung gumagastos, magiliw ako sa mga empleyado, lalo na doon sa mga operators. Pag pumasok ako sa kantin, may narinig ako ng happy birthday song sa isang mesa composed of about 10 people. Tinatawag ko yung tao ko, bumili ka ng 1 gallon ice cream, padala mo doon sa table na yun. You know, small things like this na you can probably spend on your own, but all of these things are great for employees. Simple lang naman ang mga kaligayahan ng empleyado eh. Basta mabait ka lang sa kanila, you will indeed have a successful organization. And HR has got a lot to do with it.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That's really good to know. Wow. Now, another question here is from Nolresa. Are Japanese leaders more of proactive or reactive thinkers?
Of course, proactive. No? It's inherent. Okay? They are fond of benchmarking. I recall before that I was impressed with my Japanese counterpart, who was the Vice President of Strategic Planning, that he is able to share with me good HR practices. And I investigated and found out that he will have dinner every month with Hitachi, Toshiba, Panasonic, etc. All of these Japanese companies, and they rotate the hosting. Kinaya ko. Ang ginawa ko every month, I justify to the president that I should also do benchmarking with my HR counterparts from the same companies. And it was pretty successful. Diba? Sila yung nauuna hindi yung naghihintay lang sila. Hindi sila ganun mga tao.
Oh, okay. Next question. I think this will be our last question because it's already 3:30. Here's the question. From among the different Japanese excellent practices that you shared, what do you consider will help an organization the most?
All of the things I discussed. Otherwise, I would not have discussed them if they are of no value to HR practitioners. Remember, my topic are excellent Japanese practices. So I carefully chose all of this that I presented. Okay? So for as long as you are able to adopt them and probably pick them based on your own setup structure, then you're good to go. Okay, Kate?
Yes, thank you so much. Wow, we've come to the end of our free live webinar. I am sure, just like me, all of our participants learned a lot from our speaker, Mr. Ernie Espinosa. Because of
Thank
that,
you very much, Kate.
thank you. No, allow us to thank you. We'd like to present you with a certificate. Let me just read this. Here goes. Ariva Academy Learning Development at its finest gratefully presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Ernesto G. Espinosa for imparting his professional expertise, valuable insights, knowledge, and wisdom as resource speaker during the conduct of online learning session entitled Excellent Japanese HR Practices that can be applied in any workplace environment, given the 7th day of June 2023 via Zoom conference. Signed by J.M. Matienzo, Chairman and Chief Strategist, Learning Event Producer, and Michelle Irish Malonda Samson, President and Chief Learning and Development. Ladies and gentlemen,
Arigato gozaimasu, DM, Irish, and Kate, and all the technicians.
thank
And
you so
Ann
much.
Robinson.
Thank you so much. Also, domo arigato. Thank you, thank you. Let's give our speaker a round of applause, everyone. I am reading a lot of thank yous here in the chat box. They truly appreciate what you've shared with us this afternoon. Maraming salamat po. Now, before we call it a day, let's do a group photo with our speaker. So please turn on your cameras. Join us in this group photo. There we go. We'd love to see the beautiful faces of our participants. I'm also seeing a lot of familiar faces already. We're very happy to see those familiar faces. Now let me call on our technical director, Direct Jello. Please help us out.
Thank you so much, Miss Kate. And now, can I ask everyone to please open their cameras for 2 shots of group photo? Open your cameras, everyone. For first shot, just give me your biggest smiles. Show me your biggest smiles, everyone. Ready, guys? In 3, 2, 1. All right, for a second shot, just give me 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, everyone. 2 thumbs up. Ready, guys? In 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Thank you so much, Direct Jello. Thank you. In behalf of everyone from Ariva Academy, thank you so much for being with us on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Again, we're looking forward to being with you in our future learning events. Maraming salamat. Enjoy the rest of this afternoon. God bless you all. Thank you.